All right. Welcome to Breaking Cardboard, Ep.2, the once a month live show that Sports Card Nation does. I'm your host, John Newman. The format of the show, we have a guest host today being Jeremy Lee from Sports Cards Live. And we always have a guest, a special guest. And this month's special guest, I almost said this week's, but this month's special guest, a man who needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyway. One of the most genuine and unselfish people this hobby has in it, Mr. Chris Carlin from Upper Deck.
Yeah, very excited to be here, John. Thanks so much.
And so, the format of the show, myself, Jeremy in this case, will ask you some questions. I don't know. The hobby's been pretty quiet, so we'll have to figure what to ask, but I'm sure we'll come up with something. Upper Deck, and Chris was generous to give 2 boxes of probably the hottest product right now, one of them in the market today, which is Skybox Metal Universe Hockey. Some great inserts, acetates, parallels, and PMGs. And we're going to open, we'll open a box, one box, maybe 10, 15 minutes in, and then another one later in the show, kind of break it up. Those that are in the chat are eligible to win. We'll tell you as we go. If we hit something incredible, we'll auction that off for a charity to a worthy cause. So with that being said, let's get the show started. I'll let my guest host, if Jeremy wants to kick off the show with something for Chris.
Sure. So thanks, John. Thanks for having me tonight on Breaking Cardboard, episode number 2, and fitting that I'm on with Chris from Upper Deck because, I like to collect hockey cards and Chris likes to promote hockey cards.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess I'll ask you, Chris, the first question I'll ask you is what has been the response that you've heard so far from the hobby on Metal Universe? It seems like it's been out now for just 2 days, perhaps. So how has the initial response been from your perspective?
Well, it's honestly, it's been really, as everyone knows, it's been really hard to get products out. And for us, we want to make sure that we're getting them out and getting them out at the quality customers expect. So we've had some delays with releases that have a bit more technology involved. So Allure will be out next week. Finally, OPG Platinum is slated for the end of the month, so that's exciting. But this is one that I think we've at Upper Deck all been very excited about. And there just hasn't been a hockey release in a bit as well. So the secondary market price for it's a bit higher than, I know we'd like to see, but it kind of is what it is in this market, this crazy market we're in. But the boxes I've opened have been just a lot of fun, like a walk down memory lane, really. And I think that we're seeing a bit of crossover collecting on this particular product, which might be lending to the higher secondary market value of the individual cards in the boxes, because there's a lot of fans of the old Fleer inserts. So people who normally collect football, people who normally collect baseball, people who normally collect basketball are definitely dipping their toe in the water on this particular release to get their Fleer 90s inserts fixed, and it's definitely delivering. So I had a blast seeing some of the cards that were coming out of here. One that I didn't pull, but I saw was one of the Platinum Portraits cards, which are so freaking cool. They actually take about 10 minutes to make each one because they're like laser cut. So it's a really, really cool nostalgic view of cards brought with a 21st century mix. So I'm digging it a lot.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Platinum Portrait yet. I did pick up my first card from the product on eBay. I put in an offer on it last night, and it wasn't accepted, but I decided I'll be patient. I woke up this morning to a counter offer, which I promptly accepted. And should I divulge what the card is? I guess I have it on.
You can't tease that and then not say, so go ahead.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Hey, I'm just trying to build up the suspense here, guys. Come on. So it's not the retro precious metal gems, but it's the new precious metal gems green. It was the number 10 of 10, which I thought was cool. And it's the Mark Scheifele from the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, really cool looking card. So if anyone else was watching that on eBay or saw it and saw that it got snagged away, that's me. Guilty as charged right here. Yeah. So I'm excited I got the shipping notification today. I'm excited for that to come in due course here. Can I ask you a question though, Chris?
You gotta love a quick shipper, but yes, you may ask me.
Yeah, question. So you mentioned that the higher secondary market pricing, you said it might be higher than you like. I've seen some people on Instagram specifically say, the price is high, come on Upper Deck. And my understanding is that this isn't up, and maybe I'm wrong. So my understanding is not Upper Deck that priced it that high. Can you explain why the price is what it is?
Yeah, it's pretty easy, really. Supply demand. We didn't make a ton of it. There's a lot of people that have come into the category recently that wouldn't normally be in the market for this type of product. So dealers are pricing it higher. I kind of think about the fact that many dealers were working on razor thin margins for a long, long time. And now they're taking a cut, which is understandable, but it's just a reflection of this crazy market. So yeah, we certainly didn't charge what you're seeing for it. And I don't think dealers are totally being selfish here. They're paying some additional costs as well in trying to buy more. And when there's a rush on something, that's just kind of how it goes, unfortunately. So typically, if people wait a little bit, they'll see it come down a bit. But I don't know. I think when Allure gets out, Peachy Platinum, we've got a couple set to come kind of back to back. Hopefully we'll see this slow down a bit in terms of the secondary market pricing, but people seem to be enjoying it. And again, it's bringing over people who don't normally collect hockey. So I think that's just a reflection of it.
Yeah. I really thought that it would do that. And it's a product. I've been waiting for this for a year, ever since I found out that it was going to come. Yeah. And I understand the reason for the delays. It's out of your hands, but it's nice that it's here. And, it's just super excited to, I do have that right there is as an inner case that I was able to secure. I think I pre-ordered 5 cases from Eastridge here in Calgary, and I ended up with half a case. So, 5% or whatever that works out to of my ask, or 10%, I guess. But, and I have 4 loose boxes on the way that I will open. These I'm going to sit on for a bit and kind of think about what I want to do. But okay. I'm going to open those 4 boxes as soon as they get here, hopefully by the end of next week. So congrats on getting it out. I know it's an exciting product, and I'm really happy to see a lot of, non hockey collectors actually pursuing this product.
Yeah, it's it is one that definitely scratches the itch for a lot of people who love that nostalgic product, and there just hasn't been anything Skybox Fleer for a while. So this is a good one, and I think the one that is definitely going to go crazy, and it already kind of is in pre-sales, is the Skybox Metal Universe Champions. So what we've seen in the category is the collectors have changed a lot over the years. I'm thinking back to 2009 Goodwin Champions, when we first came out with the product. There was a lot of quirky things that we added to that product just to try to get people into it, because a lot of people didn't collect multi-sport releases at the time. So we had to add things like entomology cards and landmark cards with Titanic coal and all sorts of quirky things. And that was always our thing, is to keep Goodwin Champions a weird product, but one that has cool drivers and Jordan autographs and Tiger, memorabilia cards and things like that. But we had to be quirky with it. And I think collectors in the past 10 plus years have changed, and they're more interested and enjoy that multi-sport offering. So to be able to bring Skybox Metal Universe Champions, hopefully towards the holidays, maybe a bit after that, based on just production challenges, but having just a total cross section of amazing athletes and having their first precious metal gems and jambalaya cards and platinum portraits, again, are it's the type of content this market has been clamoring for. So if you're watching right now, we're talking about the price on the hockey. try to get the multi-sport one as early as you can, I think.
Yeah, probably some good advice.
All right, Chris, the three of us combined have well over 100 years in this hobby. I'm not saying anyone's old, although I'll throw myself under that bus. But all joking aside, a lot of experience in this room. The last 2 years in the hobby, or whatever time window you would want to put on it, with this recent events, I mean, it's probably been, to me, the craziest time period I've ever seen in this hobby, and that's saying a lot when you have a lot of years experience. As someone who's on the inside like you are, I mean, your take and with everything going on, have you ever seen a crazier period than what we've seen recently?
Yeah, it's been. I won't say it's been a total surprise. You could see that Fanatics has been, prepping for, acquisition and to take over more control where they could. We've been working with them as a partner to provide them different trading card releases, some exclusives in some cases. So, but yeah, it's was one of those where we knew they were going to do something. We weren't sure the scope that it was going to be, but if you think about it now with what was going on, it makes a lot of sense in that you have two companies that have IPOs coming up, and they stand to make, being valued at over $1 billion, and in some cases, the players associations are there to look after the best interests of the players and to ultimately make them money and do philanthropy and things along those lines. So I think when they see two manufacturers about to seriously cash in, what's their take from that? What do they get out of that? So it was a perfect opportunity for a company like Fanatics to do what they did, and kind of pull the carpet out from underneath some of them. But at the same time, I don't think Topps is going anywhere. I think that I think people are drastically underestimating and this is me speaking as Chris Carlin, not as Upper Deck, but I think people are drastically underestimating the value of Topps without MLB and the fact that they can still do a variety of baseball related things potentially. There could be some court challenges coming up. There could be some more fun that way. But at the end of the day, I don't think that everyone's making these drastic assumptions that Fanatics is just going to gobble up Topps and Panini or even Upper Deck. And that's just not the case. In fact, one thing I'd like to assert very strongly is that, while other trading card manufacturers have been shopped around, have been up for sale, both privately and publicly, Upper Deck has never been that way. We remain a privately owned company. We have not shopped ourselves around. We have not looked to be sold. And we are not having any discussions or anything along those lines right now. So I think it's very important that collectors know that Upper Deck remains an American company that is family owned and operated by a female owner, which is really cool. And we have no plans of going anywhere.
Well, I'm glad you addressed that, Chris. I know there was, I have to apologize. I don't know what publication it appeared in, but there was an article that said, that Fanatics was exploring purchasing Upper Deck. Matter of fact, it literally named every company that produces cards. So it was really, I'm not
I think
an
people
editor.
are drastically underestimating the fact that, there is a lot of time before these exclusives kick in.
Yeah.
And I fully expect Fanatics to create their own brands and bring on people that will help them to do that. And, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, if you think about it, and I know this because I lived it, Upper Deck was basically Fanatics at one point almost. We had every major sport. We had Yu-Gi-Oh! We had golf. We had motorsports, all sorts of authenticated products, all sorts of wacky collectibles. And what I can tell you from my experience being, a mega manufacturer is that it's very hard to deliver the type of service and performance that each licensor expects. And there's always going to be one that gets more attention than the others. And that's very clear. So it's, just acquiring all sorts of licenses isn't always the best model. And we found that you'll always hear collectors talk about, we need more competition in the market. It drives great products, what have you. Well, competition still exists. I mean, Upper Deck just released football packs on ePack this week. I'm sure the football manufacturers aren't doing backflips over that. We've done basketball packs. We've been very creative with how we come up with basketball collectibles. A product like Supreme Hardcourt a few years back was one example of that. So creating a collectible that, isn't a trading card, but collectors kind of treated it like one. So, there's a lot that goes on there. So I can say from experience that, while we wish them the best, I think that, it's not always just getting licenses isn't always the easiest thing to do. And I think it's also important to note that it's not really fair to say that Topps lost the license or Panini or Upper Deck. A lot of times this just comes down to dollars and partnerships and things along those lines. What can you offer the players associations and the leagues? So, and there's times when you pay for it where you as a manufacturer don't make money off it. You agree to these deals to try to secure a license and hope that they'll be profitable and have years like this. But what we haven't seen in a while is a labor dispute in sports. And I can tell you, I started at Upper Deck in '97 when the NBA had a lockout, and it was not good. I was coming to work every day expecting to be laid off. So those are situations that we just haven't seen it a bit, and they can cripple this market. And that's why I think Upper Deck decided to diversify our portfolio, basically, like you would with stocks. We're not going to just create sports trading cards. We're about games. We have incredible Marvel offerings, great things from Alien, Predator, X-Files, et cetera, Bond. So there's a variety of ways. And again, I don't think people fully realize everything Topps offers, everything Panini offers. So while they may have had a setback here, I fully believe that both companies will still be producing cards for those sports or getting creative because there's time to figure that out.
A question from a person in chat, Chris. I'll pose it to you, and then we can get into the first box here. And I don't know, this is really a question for the future. I don't know how much you can elaborate, but I'll let you determine that. Blink Scott asks, can Upper Deck get in bed? I don't I don't know if I agree with the terminology, but get together with Fanatics and produce Upper Deck baseball. Obviously, that would be a few years from now. Is that something, you'd entertain? I mean, I don't know all the logistics.
I have heard things like this over and over from collectors. It's honestly the sub-licensing utopia wish that every collector has about maybe they'll grant Panini the opportunity to do this one, or wouldn't it be great if Topps could still do this? It's just not going to happen, I don't think. I can't. I would say 99.9% no. I think Fanatics is a company that is looking to do what's best for Fanatics, and they don't need to help Topps or Upper Deck or anything along those lines. And then there's a myriad of other issues that go in there because the leagues partnered with them for a reason. They want to go through one manufacturer for approvals and setting up the calendar in a way that works. So I love it's almost like sports talk radio with what was the best team of all time. It's just there's no way that's going to happen. So that those teams can't play each other, and I can't envision. Although I would love to, from a collector's perspective, wouldn't it be nice? It would, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, it's business, and the leagues have made decisions. So we're not going to see things like that. Unfortunately, I don't think.
I got John, if I may, a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, obviously I didn't know we were going to get into this whole Fanatics discussion, but we're there. With Fanatics kind of scooping MLB, NBA, NFL, I have to think at Upper Deck there must have been some discussion or concern that, are they going to scoop NHL? let's say that they do. Are you guys have you had like any discussions or meetings? Like, is this something that you guys would want to? And I guess I'm asking you because you're on the inside and you might be able to let us know or give us an idea on how maybe Topps and Panini are thinking. But would you guys be looking for like, other plans already, thinking about like if this happens 3, 4, 5 years down the road, or whenever the NHL licenses expire, like, are you already brainstorming on what to do in the absence of having that license? And like, do you feel like the other companies are already looking ahead as to what can we do in 2025 and 26? And I guess that's kind of my question with an additional spin being with Topps and Panini both being out of those other 3 sports. Is there any contemplation at Upper Deck that maybe they throw money at NHL and try and kind of outbid Upper Deck on NHL upon time for renewal? And again, does that mean that you guys are thinking about sort of plan Bs and how to pivot or adapt?
Sure. I mean, it's a competitive landscape, right? And it's one where manufacturers compete for licenses, and it's a challenge. And again, players associations, at the end of the day, they're looking for dollars mostly, but they're looking for who can best represent their brand and who can be a good partner for philanthropy, et cetera. So to answer your question, our focus hasn't been the disaster, what if we lose this? It's more about doubling our efforts to make sure that we are having regular communication with our league partners. And one thing I will say about both the NHL and NHLPA is they've looked at other opportunities within the manufacturing landscape, and they've continued to partner with Upper Deck and even grant us an exclusive in multiple occasions. I think primarily because they know. You remember I talked a little bit about how when you have all these licenses, it's like which one's most important. Some of them go down here, and you focus on. Well, they know that they're our number one, and they are absolute number one focus. They know we employ some of the best people in the industry to produce cards for them, and I think they like a lot of the things that we do with our philanthropy campaigns. And I know that they're a true partner. I know that when licenses have come up, they've talked to shop owners about it and listened. And it's not always about who can offer the most with them. It's who can represent their brand the best and what's the best decision long-term for their brand. And I think they've been pretty happy with some of the results that we've been able to provide during this recent run. And again, we have it locked up for a while more, but we're continuing to have correspondence and talks and meetings with them about the future and how do we best work with them. We are currently the NHLPA's longest licensed partner. So I think that means something to them. I know you would say that about Topps and MLBPA as well, but I know for a fact that it does mean something to our current partners. And you're at a dance and you brought a girl, and it's nice to look around out there, but ultimately I think most people will leave the dance with who brought them.
All right. Well, I appreciate the answer, and I love Upper Deck hockey. I love Upper Deck cards. So I hope that that they are continued to be made for many, many years.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's unique that we offer, and I don't think people fully realize it, but our league partners certainly do, is other partners have apps and things along those lines and NFTs, but Upper Deck ePack is really quite a monster with regard to the proprietary technology we have, the patented technology, and the fact that it can get to customers any time of the day, anywhere in the world, with physical components, with achievements, able to offer quick products like game dated moments. So that is something that Upper Deck has exclusively that no other manufacturer has, and it is a bear to put out each release because of all the components that go into it and the partners we work with. I just think that it's something that people don't fully, again, realize how big it is, how important it is, and how unique it is. So I know that means something a lot to the NHL and NHLPA as well.
Cool.
Yeah, great question by Jeremy. Chris, I appreciate you being candid with your response, and I'll echo Jeremy's sentiments as well. I don't want to see anyone else do hockey other than Upper Deck, and I hope that remains the case. So let's get into this first box, if you will. I'm not a breaker, folks. I'm actually going to use the same camera, so you're going to not get to see my ugly mug. You can send donations for that. And
Finally.
I like the shirt. I like the shirt tonight. That's a good look.
So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm not a breaker, but I'm gonna, do this at a decent pace. For those in the chat room, whether it be YouTube or Facebook, if you hashtag collect the best, I will take everyone that hashtags it, and I'll put you on a list, and we'll randomize some of the hits that come from what we see opened up here.
All right.
If
John,
we hit.
Oh, sorry. Just to confirm, I'm eligible, right?
You are eligible. You're
nice.
not. I don't pay you, and you're not an employee. So,
see, it pays to be a co-host.
That's right. You can win.
Now he's gonna set the precedent. If we hit something of huge stature, of that kind of level, like I said at the beginning of the show, we can auction it off and have a worthy charity reap those rewards. So I'm sure I will, as much as a hockey fan as I am, I'm sure I will butcher a name or two. You guys are more than happy to correct me.
We can help.
So one of the fun things about this product, John, is that we actually hired the design firm that produced Metal Universe in the past for Fleer and brought them back. So when you talk about authenticity with regard to the inserts and staying true to form, that is definitely true with this release and the upcoming Skybox Metal Universe Champions. So,
yeah. So we got 15 packs here, 7 cards a pack. So we got 105 cards. I'm going to go through these. Like I said, anything, I'll put it up to the camera to get a closer view. Again, folks, I'm not a breaker. So
Chris, while he's
not a breaker, he just plays one on this show.
Yeah.
John, do you want me to, can we ask some questions while are you going to just show every card or just the hits?
Yeah, if you want, if just for entertainment, if you want to talk, if I get something of significance, I'll kind of interrupt and put it up to the camera.
Definitely like to see the base cards too, though, because I understand they're really amazing.
Well, let's look at this first pack. Show us some stuff.
Right. So we got Matt Dunbar, Jesperi Kotiniemi, Nico Hershier. Let me show you.
Yeah. So the product feels very metally.
Yeah.
A lot of the inserts have metal names like Alon, Alloyance. So kind of a fun theme for this. And of course, the precious metal gems are.
There we go with an insert. Nice looking insert. Net deposits. We got Ovechkin.
Ooh.
There's some cool parallels of this one too with foil shifts. But again, a pretty technology-based release in the Skybox Metal Universe.
I like the name Alloyance. That's a pretty crafty name.
And for sake of time too, guys, I'll separate. I mean, if we hit something huge, I'll sleeve it up, but I'll go through this afterwards and I'll put little lots together. We'll give them away.
I don't know what you're talking about, John. When you say I'm not a breaker, you're like you're looking good.
Well, listen, in 30 years, I've opened a few packs. So there's my guy, Mika Z right there. I'm a huge Rangers guy. I've opened more hockey. Chris will be glad to hear this. I've opened more hockey the last 2 years with the Rangers having the number 1 and 2 picks in consecutive years. So we got, speaking of Rangers, I believe this is an insert. It's looks like metal, even more so Kravtsov.
Yeah, this is pretty.
That's like a retro tribute or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep, numbered R42. Yep, right. So it must be R for retro. All right.
So, Chris, do you is this product Metal Skybox Metal Universe this year? Is this going to be kind of a one-off thing like Fleer Retro was in 2012, or is this something that we're going to see on an ongoing basis now for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, it's we will frequently with newer releases try them out. Like, okay, we'll do this every other year. Put it on the shelf for a little bit, make it a little more special. We've done that with some releases like Ingrained or Stature, for example. But this one, I think, is going to become part of the calendar with what we're seeing with regard to just the fact that, well, I'll be very honest. When we purchased Fleer, they did not have a very good reputation in the market, and collectors have long memories. So we put out some Fleer products, and they did not do great. But I think enough time has passed, wounds have healed, and people realize that it's not the same company. It's Upper Deck has the Fleer name now, so in Skybox. So I think we're going to see more Fleer offerings in the future for sure.
All right, so here's I'm a sucker for acetate cards. I love them. I try to collect them as much. Here's the first one that come out. It's Zdeno Chara hardware. Acetate. Nice shot, holding up the cup.
Yeah.
Are all the hardware, I think it's called the Championship hardware, are they all acetate, or is that like a parallel?
Correct.
All acetate.
And then the Alon cards are acetate as well.
Awesome.
So, I mean, as you're seeing, that was really one of the real challenges with this product is there's only a certain number of manufacturers that can make some of these insert cards. So we had to wait for our time on press basically to get these done.
Well, and you mentioned that that a lot of the inserts are reminiscent of, or sorry, you meant that Fleer, when you bought the brand, maybe didn't have the best reputation, but the way the hobby's been over the last couple of years, Fleer is now hugely in demand. And whenever I talk to you, I talk to Billy or anyone at Upper Deck, I say, you guys, you got to bring back Fleer. You trust me, it's gonna. So another question I was going to ask you was, and you sort of said, but I was going to ask, like, are we going to see any Fleer branded products in the future? And I'm glad you've already kind of alluded to that we likely will. And I think it's a good move.
Yeah. Good to see Billy on here. Billy, I am an excellent golfer. You saw me make some great shots this last week. So Billy busted my chops a little bit.
All right, here we go.
I'm average.
Prospect card.
Shots the last time we were out. Oh, yeah, those are nice.
Nils Hoglander.
Decent rookie for the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah.
The Canucks collectors have been so spoiled recently, but their pocketbooks are probably paying for it a bit.
Year after year, from
Besser to
Pedersen, Quinn Hughes. Yeah, they've had a good run. And I think I'm forgetting one person in there, too. Oh, Brock Besser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another net deposit. These are sharp cards. The net deposits, Bowen Byram.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Really cool cards.
Close to halfway through. We're getting there.
It's 15 packs in a box. Is that what you said, John?
Yeah, 15, seven cards per pack. Oh, I see color here. I'll save it for last. I'll slow play it. Oh, look at this. There you go. Philip Kurisanov. Probably said that name wrong. It's a rookie.
Ooh, precious metal gems.
Yeah.
What's it numbered out of the red? 100?
100. This is 31 of 100. All right. Again, hashtag collect the best, and someone will get that card right there amongst the other things I'm showing.
It's funny when manufacturers send products to folks to break on things like this. We're always hoping that the boxes are just okay. You know, we don't want it to be like too good where they're like, oh, they totally juiced this up, or bad.
Right,
that's a bad product. So
we got Jeremy we have to work out a deal. Jeremy's going to want this card, so
Okay.
we'll figure something out. As far as guest hosts not getting paid, it might end today, maybe with this card. So I'm
Ooh, nice.
That's hilarious.
It's like it was meant, Jeremy. It was like it was scripted.
Yeah, there we go.
And it wasn't, but we'll work something hilarious. Out. That's got to go to its. He talked about the guy before about acquiring. It's got to go there. We'll figure something out.
I've bought one card out of this product on eBay so far, and it was that player. Not the different card, but that player.
Hilarious.
We were speaking of alliance. There you go. There's an alliance.
Right on. Vegas Golden Knights. Who's it? Pacioretty and Mark Stone?
Pacioretty. Correct. Yep. Pacioretty and Mark Stone.
It's a good thing they didn't put Marc-Andre Fleury on that card now that he's left the team. Shout out to Bean's Ball Card blog in the chat.
All right. Prospect, Bowen Byram.
And that card has a Ruby parallel out of 50, which I haven't seen many of. And I think those are awesome cards because they've come out in prior years in Fleer Pro and like Fleer Showcase that Upper Deck has done. And they're some of my most sort of under the radar cards.
That's the theme. That's his base card, though.
There we go. Yeah, so I got the green parallel, the Precious Metal Gems green parallel of that card is the one Shifley that I bought.
I like these. Intimidation Nation. You got your, in this case, Carter Hart. Nice close-up behind the mask.
Really nice looking card. And they went with all goaltenders in that insert set this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been hearing for a while that people wanted more close-ups of the helmets, and it's a bit of a dance for a variety of reasons how much helmet we can show, but to do the Intimidation Nation that way is pretty cool.
Yeah, that looked like a beautiful card. Oh, another retro.
Another retro. We got Johnny Gaudreau.
Oh, my hometown team guy.
Yep.
See, the background on that is gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah, it's interplanetary.
Hockey players in space. What's wrong with that? It's the best.
All right, 3 packs left in the first box here. Connor McDavid, base card there. Another one of my favorite hockey names, prospect card, Morgan Geekie. You know, he probably took some ribbon in school. I got to feel his
players have the best names, period. Now, granted, it's hard to spell them, pronounce them, but they're great.
2 more.
I like what Bean's Ball Card blog said. Nils Hoglander sounds like a villain from the Mighty Ducks.
Austin Matthews, net deposits.
Oh, see, that's a wicked looking card. The blue. I love the blue shiny.
And last pack.
One of the parallels, I think it was numbered at 25, but it shifts to like a gold foil, which is really, really awesome.
You know, you mentioned gold, but I may as well mention for the first time, I believe for the first time ever, we are seeing gold 101 parallel precious metal gems. And I've seen 2 of them on eBay so far, both the Jamie Benn, which I think has sold, and the Frederick Anderson goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs has hit eBay. So that's really cool to see those. I mean,
definitely something different, and it really helps drive a super high-end chase. So,
last pack, another retro Josh Norris. There we go. That was box number 1 again. Whether you're in the Facebook room or YouTube, again, hashtag collect the best, and some of these will be making their way to new homes. One thing, Chris, I wanted to ask you too. I don't want to harp on. We kind of covered it pretty well, but going back to the whole Fanatics deal, the one thing that stood out to me, and I wanted to get your take on it, a 20-year contract, to me, that just seems way too long to give that a contract of that length to anybody, especially someone that hasn't really done cards, in their own accord. I mean, can you, any comments?
Yeah, I think you hear that number and it freaks you out, but we don't know everything that's in that contract or deal. I'm sure there's termination or escape clauses potentially for the leagues. I'm sure. So we don't know. But that is a long deal, and yeah, I mean, I love baseball. It's one of my favorite sports to watch now and go to. We love our Padres, and I was holding out hope we might be able to make some moves in that, and unfortunately, Fanatics came in and made an offer that was too good. So again, we'll see though if there are situations that come up that. I mean, with a deal like this, they're guaranteeing that they're going to make a certain amount, and make a certain amount of product. It's not like they're going to be a micro manufacturer. If you're going to step up to a deal like this, you're expecting a lot. So I hope the market can stay as hot as it's been. I hope everyone that's come in will stay. But if the market goes back to what it was 4 or 5 years ago, who knows? Because one thing that I can share and know very well is that when you put out too much product into this market, the shops know about it, the collectors know about it, and that product is almost dead on arrival. Not in the market we see today, but in the market 5 years ago, that was absolutely the truth. Where you see product that maybe was a new brand, and they had to produce a certain amount. And unfortunately, if people know that there's too much of it out there, you're going to see $100 boxes selling for $75, and that was something I know is very difficult for shop owners to take and deal with the market when it's like that. So again, I'm very optimistic that we'll be able to keep the collectors that have come into the category and hopefully grow the market even further. But the expectation for collectors that, again, these utopian views on what they would love to see and what's really going to happen, I think are two diametrically opposed views, where Fanatics is going to have to make a lot of product.
Chris, I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask the question. And I saw Justin Christian in the comments had sort of asked, "What do you think it means for the LCS?" And I don't think we can answer that question. So I'm going to ask you this: how, in your opinion, and on behalf of Upper Deck, how important to the hobby are LCSs?
Yeah, so your local card shop is very important to the hobby. But for Upper Deck, we've really worked to streamline our distribution. And by having shops have to operate a brick and mortar location, for our customers that are certified diamond dealers, they have to abide by certain rules. And we've lost not a lot, but we've lost a fairly decent amount of shops who didn't want to abide by those rules. And in fact, now that we're getting more licenses like AEW, et cetera, I've been approached by some of them who, they're saying, "Why won't you take my money?" And the reason why is what we're looking for are good stewards for our products, good representatives for our products in the marketplace. And if a dealer doesn't want to represent our company in a good light, then best of luck. But at the same time, there are so many local card shops that do things the right way, and we are fully committed to them. We are the only company where our president and our vice president of sales and marketing actually ran trading card shops. So we understand what that is and how important it is to the community, and that it is a community in and of itself. So while the market has been good for those shops as of late, and I know many of them are out at the industry summit in Vegas, we are definitely focused on the card shop long term. Now we've had to do things like EPAC in order to reach more customers, in order to let the leagues know that we are embracing the digital landscape and the world of online technology, which dealers didn't love initially. It was like when eBay first came out. Oh, this is going to end the industry, right? Well, it hasn't, and really what EPAC has allowed us to do is expand our reach, and to strengthen other product lines. A lot of shops didn't carry Marvel trading cards 5 years ago. And by putting the Marvel releases on EPAC, we've been able to reach so many new users, and now they are engaged and collecting and excited. And we're seeing huge spikes in the secondary market value on Marvel trading cards, boxes, etc. So, we've done some things that LCSs haven't loved, but we've also spent a lot to help them. Our certified diamond dealer conference that we started, that's away from the industry summit. The reason why it's away from the industry summit is there's a lot of people there at the industry summit who are basically, the guy in their basement in their pajamas selling trading cards online, and they're buying from manufacturers. Well, we don't think that's okay. We want all our partners to operate on a level playing field, to pay rent, to have employees, to pay insurance, to pay for security, and to compete on customer service instead of just I'm going to undercut this guy because I don't have this overhead. So local card shops, long story short, are very important to Upper Deck.
Follow-up question, somewhat unrelated. I remember in the 90s, there were so many new shops popping up. Even I opened one up in 1991 and was open for about 3 years. We saw across the landscape, we've seen a decrease in the amount of card shops in the hobby. But now it seems like there's more. I hear regularly people are opening up more shops. Do you have any insight into kind of what percentage increase we're seeing? Do you guys have any data or an idea as like what percent, like is there a 20% increase in LCS shops that opened up over the last 6 months to a year? What are you expecting that way?
We do. We're seeing two things, Jeremy. We're seeing people that weren't part of the certified diamond dealer program, but operated brick and mortar shops wanting to come direct with Upper Deck again, because of some of the new licenses, because of a product like Skybox Metal Universe Champions, for example. It's one that is, getting people excited again. So that's one aspect we're seeing. And I would say that has been about a 5 to 10% uptick, but there is a significant spike in that new collector coming out of the recession and deciding that they want to get into it. In fact, our number one blog stories that have been reviewed as of late are a series of stories I did about 8 years ago called How to Open Up a Trading Card Shop. And the reason why I did those stories was, at the time, if you Googled that, there was nothing out there. So I wanted to have some organic SEO on here's kind of how you do it. So if you're thinking about it, Google Upper Deck blog and How to Open Up a Trading Card Shop. You'll see some good stories there. But yeah, we've been bringing on a fairly decent amount. I can't give you the exact amount, but we are usually start some of our shops off a little slower, have them work through distributors, get up to speed. And right now it's just, there's not enough product out there, for distributors. Even it's really tricky where there is such a spike in interest in this category. I think this and the medical field are the two businesses that profited the most during the pandemic, but it's crazy. So we are seeing a big spike, but we are trying to start those newer shops off a little slower so we can take care of the shops that have been with us the longest.
Cool. Question from the chat room, Chris, from Jeff Baker. He asks, will Upper Deck come out with an NFT like NBA Top Shot?
I can say that within even the next 6 months, but probably the next year, collectors are going to see some big new initiatives from Upper Deck in spaces they probably wouldn't expect. So NFT is something that's been talked a lot about, and if you think about it, that's kind of what EPAC is an NFT type of collectible. So we've been operating in that space before it really became a space, but we have the physical components that go along with it. I think it's safe to say, well, I got to play it safe. You're going to see two pretty big, major new initiatives for Upper Deck within the next 6 months to a year.
See, flybys with some nice Crosby cards that just to hit Upper Deck. Thanks to BT Sports Cards for letting me know to take a look.
And see, I'm not an NFT guy. I'm the old man on the port, the old school guy. If I can't hold it, see it, touch it kind of guy. But that's why I like EPACs, because there's substance behind the image. So that's why I think that model to me is better than just a digital image. I know it's popular. For me, I'm only speaking for myself. I got, if I can't really have the card in my hand,
I got to know that it exists somewhere. Yeah, me too. But it's funny, you know. I see my kids and how they engage online, and my son playing Fortnite and getting his V-Bucks, you know, and just understanding he's digital currency, and he's immersed in that environment. So I think if companies do NFTs right, more power to them. But I think that there's a lot of opportunities to screw it up, or to have licensing changes or things along those lines that may be built into the terms and conditions that people may not realize when they're buying into some of the NFT offerings.
Beautiful icon BT Sports Cards, and yes, that Crosby PMG green numbered 7 of 10 is up on eBay now for $4,000 or best offer.
Well,
yeah,
Bean's Ball Card blog. I love the idea, and we are big fans of you as well. So yeah, if we ever need you, we'll call.
Well, Chris, you had some major announcements at the National in Chicago about almost 2 months ago. You alluded to one with AEW, but some others I want to give you, for those that didn't hear, maybe weren't there, aren't on social media a lot, that maybe have missed that announcement. Just kind of, if you don't mind rehashing some of what was revealed on stage in Chicago.
Yeah, AEW it's a very big deal. We've never been exclusive in a wrestling space before. We've had wrestlers in products like Goodwin Champions or some one-off products, but with the way the wrestling world is shifting right now, and you think about what Mick Foley just said last week about WWE, we have a problem. I think it's pretty good timing for Upper Deck to get into this space. And I had no idea how passionate this fan base was until we made the announcement. I had people coming up and begging me for, the Sting blow-up card that we had on display out there, and ended up having some fun with a fan, and did our own little wrestling match, and took a chair to the back and gave him the Sting card. So we had some fun that way. That's out there on our Instagram feed. But I cannot wait. The CM Punk preview card that we did on Game Data Moments on EPAC went berserk, and I expect this release to do very much the same. But what people really need to know about Upper Deck and AEW is that this is a pretty long-term partnership, and it expands outside of the world of sports cards. It will be memorabilia as well. So, and I know what people are seeing with the first offering of, an Upper Deck type of AEW product, but if the market reacts to it the way we're seeing already and the way we expect them to continue to, I think you can see a variety of different AEW releases from Upper Deck. So I know initially collectors freak out. Oh my gosh, there's a label autograph. What are those guys doing? They're screwing it all up. But it's it's early, so we have to use labels sometimes, and there's reasons for that. But at the same time, we are all in with AEW. We think it's awesome. We love the fan base we're seeing so far, and I hope to see some different types of offerings for AEW in the future, and I think collectors should look forward to that.
Yeah. Compliment from this is Ken Kinsley, by the way, for those that know him. Beans Ball Card Blog. He says, Chris, please tell whoever's in charge of Goodwin that I said thank you for including some IndyCar guys the last couple years. IndyCar hasn't had a standalone product since 2007, Rittenhouse.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I hear that. I hear NHRA, and there's those were always so niche, but now we're seeing that people are more accepting of those. And even if it's just that they realize they don't know who the guy is, but when they go to check eBay, you know, oh, well, that's a pretty good card. Look at me. So, yeah, I think that that there's room for those types of sports in a product like Goodwin, in a product like Skybox Metal Universe Champions. And hey, if they can be successful there, who knows if there might be a standalone release. But we're seeing more types of licenses being granted and more types of core releases than I've ever seen in my life. So it's a fun time to be a collector, I think. But at the same time, I think it's important to realize that there's going to be a lot produced in the future with regard to volumes by some of the manufacturers based on what they have to accomplish and things that they need to hit. So something to keep in mind.
As a collector, taking your upper deck hat off, like you said, as Chris Carlin, is there a little fear there? Are you a little worried about that potential to the hobby? We always hear junk wax era 2.0 and that those terms being bandied about. Is that something as just a person, as a collector, that you're a little bit I don't know, fearful might be too strong a word, but concerned about?
I was at a retail distribution center and seeing how things get packed out, what have you. Very eye-opening, very amazing. It makes you rethink everything you see at a supermarket or a retailer, mass retailer. And I can tell you, holy cow, I've never seen so much Pokemon in my life. So I was like, it was like the Indiana Jones, at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, how much is in here? So yeah, I don't know, man. It's the great thing is there's more people engaged in this hobby than I think it's fair to say ever been, and that is awesome. And everyone is collecting different things, so different strokes for different folks, which is great. But honestly, I think that we could. I'm not doom and glooming here, but we've been a long time without a labor dispute, and I think that would be something that I think would really shake the market up a bit in a bad way. And I don't root for any of that because we're all riding a nice wave right now of people engaged in the hobby, all sorts of positive stories about the hobby. So it's a good time to be in it right now. But at the same time, I think about what our president says sometimes, alluding to Game of Thrones, winter is coming sometimes. So you have to prepare for the best and prepare for the worst and enjoy the best times.
It's easy to do when you love the cards that you have, and you can just sort of fall back on the cards and not worry about everything else that's out there. And I'm looking forward to adding many more Skybox Metal Universe cards to my collection because I can tell that I'm gonna love them once I'm gonna keep that little box right there. That's an 8-box inner. I'm gonna keep that sealed for now, and I'm gonna crack my 4 boxes when they arrive here this coming week.
All right. That's a good segue, Jeremy. I think to do the second box here. If you want to, again, ask any questions, I'm going to take my ugly mug back off screen again, just like before, and we'll get into box number 2 here.
Well, while you're prepping that, I will ask Chris a question. So there's sort of card show season upon us here. We've, especially as far as hockey goes and Upper Deck, we have. Up in Canada, we have the Expo coming in the middle of November. And I believe, Chris, the weekend after is the show in Vancouver, the Western Canada Sports Collectors Convention, the WCSCC, the biggest acronym in all of sports.
There's a few different acronyms for it, too. We'll just call it the Vancouver show.
the Vancouver show.
Even though it's in Langley.
What's that?
Even though it's in Langley.
Yeah, it's fair enough. But hey, then again, we say that the expo's in Toronto. Meanwhile, it's actually Mississauga. So same sort of dynamic there. My question is, and maybe we'll look at this pack first because he's quick to the draw this time. And then I'll ask the question.
All right, Mikko Rantanen.
Ooh, star for the Colorado Avalanche.
Nick Robertson, rookie. That's that pack.
I see a question from the chat. Actually, I'll ask you, Chris, because where did it go? Ronald Robinson wants to know about Space Jam, about a Space Jam Legacy release.
Yeah. So obviously we have a great relationship with LeBron. We have a good relationship with the folks that make Space Jam. So I can't say exactly right now, but I could say look for an announcement on that in the very near future.
There you go. There you go, Ronald Robinson.
So, but what I can say is whatever that announcement is, the product that's tied to it is going to be awesome. It's going to be in a variety of places for you to grab. So get excited.
Ooh, Dustin Brown, hardware.
Is that called hardware or is it called championship hardware?
On the card itself, I just see hardware. So
I think we just call it hardware, but they're all Stanley Cup photos.
I just asked because it's obviously a tribute to the championship hardware from the 90s.
Yeah.
And you can even tell the font's the same, but
yeah,
nice to change it up a bit for sure. Billy says, who really believes? I think he means Jeremy is leaving that inner case closed. I know, Billy. We'll see.
Yeah, watch all this. Your hands are shaking. Looking at that razor blade.
There we go. An alliance of Ovechkin and Backstrom.
Nice.
I love the background on that.
Yeah, it's good. It's got some gold foil.
So, yeah, real quick with regard to shows, Jamie, again, Upper Deck hasn't done the industry summit in a while because we produce our own trading card show for shops, and really what we focus on is how to help them do better in business. And we canceled it last year. We had to cancel it this year because of the pandemic. But also because shops are doing just fine right now. I don't think a lot of shops need a ton of help. I'm sure the content for the show this weekend is going to be great, but at the same time, I think a lot of shops are going out to Vegas because they just want to see old friends and have a little fun. And they've been working so hard the past couple of years that it's time for a little breather. So that's one thing with regard to shop events. Now, consumer shows, you were telling me something that I wasn't aware of until just a little bit ago about the Summit Show.
Yeah, the Summit Show in Edmonton that was scheduled for next weekend has been canceled just a couple hours ago, officially canceled. The promoter put out a tweet announcing that. So I was planning to go to it. So that's disappointing, but I understand its reasons. And but we do have the expo in Toronto coming up in November, followed by the show in Vancouver. And I guess, John, let's see that card. That looks really nice.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I love it.
Rookie year net deposits. The first time we can say that.
Yeah.
So I guess my question then, Chris, is with respect to these upcoming shows in Toronto and Vancouver, is Upper Deck already sort of planning for how to be a part of or support those shows, since they are in Canada and it's going to be. Although I will tell you, Chris, really interesting. I went to a show in Calgary about a month or so ago. Actually, it was the weekend before National, and it was very little hockey. It was all basketball, soccer, and baseball. Like more of those sports than hockey. For the first time in my life, in a Canadian show, did I see that. So I have a feeling that the expo in Toronto is going to be basketball and baseball heavier than ever. But what's Upper Deck plan? Any plans so
Well,
far?
I think it's important to remember too, Jeremy. There's a lot of shows popping up, and a lot of the certified diamond dealers, the shops, are busy at their shops. So what I think you're seeing would be kind of what I was talking about, where some manufacturers don't have the same requirements in place for people to purchase direct or what have you. So you might have been in a show that didn't have as many CDDs, I'm maybe guessing, or
There were none.
it was a little more of single cards, etc.
Eastridge was there. I think they're a CDD, but Maple Leaf Sports wasn't. So, and those I think would be the only two in Calgary that I'm aware of. So,
but with regard to the Fall Expo, Upper Deck's been working with them for a long time. We've done all the virtual expos. The biggest issue for us right now is safety of our employees, and it's one I grapple with our president about because I've had COVID. I've got both vaccinations, so I was able to finagle my way to the national. But he really doesn't want anyone. There was some cases at the national, and some haven't turned out great. So it's just not worth it to when you're in charge of people to really put their lives at risk. So I know that we are producing promotional packs for the show. I know we'll have all sorts of swag and fun stuff, and we'll have a major presence there. Will I be there? I don't know. I just don't know right now. So there's a lot of things that have been going on that change, seems like every day. So
for sure.
We'll be supporting the Fall Expo. I just don't know if it'll be the distributors that'll be staffing it for us, temporary associates, collectors, or our actual staff. It's not looking great that we would travel there right now. However, I can say that, but we will absolutely support the show. So it will feel like Upper Deck's there. You just might not be able to have a beer with me at Arizona's after the show.
That would be too bad.
Catch up on some inserts there. Pasternak, net deposits.
One of the better goal scorers. One of the better goal scorers in the league.
Kiefer Bellows, retro. Intimidation Nation, Grubauer.
He moved this off season. He got drafted. He got taken by the Seattle Kraken.
The Kraken, yeah.
The Kraken, yeah.
Romanoff, rookie. Prospect.
So I want to speak to that real quick because what we saw when the Golden Knights came into the market were shops in that area that were buying 2 to 3 boxes of hockey, and they started moving over 20 cases of hockey. So, and that was Vegas. So there are basically 4 shops in Vegas. There were 3 at the time. So there's a lot more shops in the Pacific Northwest, and they're really good. And they've been doing a lot of football. They've been doing a lot of basketball. But I think we're going to see a pretty big shift to hockey. So more demand for product is probably coming.
This is almost scripted. I think Jeremy's going to have to take a card from his PC and put it in, so we'll give that away. This is an Alliance, numbered to 25, 23 of 25.
Jordan number. Oh, wow.
Bro.
So,
hashtag collect the best. Hashtag collect the best. Hashtag collect the best. Hashtag collect the best.
I think if no one objects, we'll send these to Jeremy, and he'll throw something in the pot that we'll give the someone else.
Hashtag collect the best.
We got retro Yossi.
Those retros are beautiful. Love them. So to break out cards, my guy Ryan in the chat, who said, "How do Canada shows compare to the U.S. ones?" They compare. They're very similar. They're basically the same thing to it. Especially the Expo it's like the National in a lot of ways. It's in terms of the card show aspect, you don't get the corporate presence, you don't get the big autograph, as big of an autograph area, but you do have one. but you will, and to Ryan breakout cards, you're going to see lots of cards you're going to love there. Lots of vintage, all sports covered. The Expo in Toronto is I would say the second biggest and best show in the world behind the National, and then we have some regional shows. And this Vancouver show was really good. Chris, you were at the Vancouver show last year. We got to hang out. It was great.
I was really impressed with that event, and what makes it really cool is that Langley is a great community, very family friendly, but people can fly in from Vancouver, people can come in from Vancouver, other areas around there. And it was very family oriented. A lot of people were going to the minor league game there and would come to the show before, and God, tons of kids, and it just was it made me feel really good about the hobby for sure. So I love that show personally. I think it's one that has a lot of opportunity for the future, and we want to support that show too. Again, I just don't know for sure that I'll be there in person in particular, but at the same time, we'll absolutely try to support a show like that is really a lot of fun.
And so it's over 2 months away. So, fingers crossed, a lot can change, and hopefully you are able to make it up there and, be a part of the action.
Yeah.
All right. We're all set, but I'll run through some of the remaining hits. Pedersen, net deposits, sharp looking card.
Those are sick.
Prospects, Nicholas Bawden. Intimidation Nation, Malcolm Subban.
I'm not even sure what team he plays for anymore. He was on Vegas, and I think
he slipped around a bit.
Yeah, it's Blackhawks on this card, and then we did get another auto from the Kings, Mikey Anderson.
Those are great looking cards.
Rookie auto.
Very nice.
Number to 399. So what I'll do too, guys, that are I'll put these. There's also a lot of stars, like regular stars. I'll put some team lots together. Obviously, some of the hits. Everyone who hashtags it, we'll give some of those away. I'm sure we'll work out some with Jeremy, so those Jets guys make their way that way. I just think that's right, the right place to go. So especially since he mentioned them, Chevrolet right off the bat.
I'll tell you what, John. You don't need to. You pulled two nice Scheifele cards. Give the autograph away to. So I think there's at least one other Jets fan in the chat there. So give the autograph away. But that duel with Connor, I want that one. I want that one.
All right. We'll make sure that's a compromise. We'll make sure you get that one. DRs. I said a big card show this weekend in Syracuse, New York. That's where I am. I will also be set up at this show. It's the first show really here in about 18 months, maybe longer. First show that I'm doing as a dealer in 2 years. So it's going to be kind of weird to get back in the saddle, so to speak. DR, come say hello. I'll be there.
So real quick, Jeremy, you mentioned earlier, what type of uptick are we seeing in shops opening, and you are seeing shows everywhere now, right? Like I took my kids to a show in San Diego. Like that didn't exist even a year ago. So it's really cool to see all the shows happening. Everyone, please be safe if you're out there. But I think about, when I talk to someone like Adam Martin, who started, and is like from Dave and Adam Sports Cards, is a guy who is such a really great ambassador for the hobby. But he's one of those guys, usually when people have success, they don't tell people about how they got there. And he's always been very open and forthcoming with other shop owners. But he started, doing shows, and I think about the guys at Klutz Chara, so it's one of those situations where I think as we're going to see an effect from this boom, where we might see more shops opening up in the next 2 to 3 years, as people again dip their toe in the water and feel that the water feels pretty good. So that's my hope, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear about it all the time now. People even messaging me saying I'm opening up a shop, and even people. I got a text message the other day. Someone said, since I've been watching your show, it's helped me to navigate. I'm like, wow,
Yes.
that's amazing. Like,
Yeah, and let's do a
luck.
little shout out to Sports Cards Live. It's your show, Jeremy, and people should definitely check it out as well as Hobby Happenings tomorrow and all that. But your show and a lot of the different shows that have come up when the pandemic hit have been great resources for people to figure out the landscape of this hobby and what's what. So kudos to both of you for what you do there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just, just sharing my experiences. Me and Jeremy the same age and got in around the same time, and it's we have a passion for it, and it's easy to do when you have a passion for it. So,
well, I see. Okay, go ahead, John.
Go ahead,
sorry.
Chris. No, go ahead, Chris.
I see DR said, Chris, what's it like working for a great sports company? Do you ever feel like work? And, I'll tell you that if you're going to do anything in life, do something you're passionate about. Like, I've had opportunities to leave Upper Deck and work in other industries, but I don't think I would have like waking up every morning and going to work. It's awesome to love what you do. So if we're going away with any message tonight, let that be one. And I often tell people it's not really. Don't get me wrong. If my boss is watching, hey, pay is good. But at the same time, I tell my staff, we're not necessarily going to get rich doing what we do for Upper Deck, but there's a lot of opportunities to get something maybe better than money. And one of my reps today was working with a customer and just getting their family cards. A collector was sick and is not doing well. And the fact that his cards arrived and a family member let my rep know that it just meant the world to him. And they were so happy to see him smile. And he left feeling so great. And that really is what I love about this industry, the business, is the fact that, this little piece of cardboard can really effectively change lives in some ways. So I love what I do, and I know you guys do too. So it's really fun doing something you love, and if you're doing something you don't love, maybe think about that. Look at other opportunities out there, because while paychecks are nice, it's important for your own sanity to do something that you're passionate about.
Well said.
And Chris, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. It's not lip service. It's not because you're on the show tonight. I've said this on Sports Card Nation without you being a guest that week. Upper Deck sets the greatest example for giving back to the community, doing great things for people who are hurting, families. And even when I lost my dog Mocha a little over a year ago, you guys did something incredible for myself and my family. And you've done countless stories. We could do 3 hours or more on just those type of stories that Upper Deck's done for people, regardless of whether they're a customer, not a customer. It makes no difference. You just do it because you want to do something nice and help somebody, and says a lot about you and the company, and a lot of other companies could take a page out of that book if they were smart.
Well, there's a few sayings that I really kind of aspire to. The number one thing is do the right thing and let the brand go along for the ride. So we're part of this community. It's important for us to not just deal with customers when they come to us, but to keep our eyes peeled out there and see what's happening. And if there's things that we could do that are good, we'll do that. And the important thing is to do it not in hopes of making it a viral sensation or what have you, but to do it because it's the right thing to do. And then another quote I love is earn a place in your customer's heart, and they'll gladly give you a bigger piece of their wallet. So it's the right thing to do translates to good business. So I love the Nordstrom's model where people are writing handwritten notes, and my penmanship has gotten so much better over the last 10 years since we started the Upper Deck Random Acts of Kindness program, because it means something to someone, a customer, not to get an email from a company, but to get something in the mail and have it be handwritten and have it come from the heart. I think that's important. So people pay for premium products. I feel they deserve premium service to go along with that.
Yeah, I agree, Ken, with that sentiment. Ken says Tops and Panini can learn a lot. Sure can. Jeremy, any final thoughts or questions as we kind of wind down?
No, not really, John. Just thanks for. I guess if we're winding down, thanks for inviting me on as a guest host on episode 2 of Breaking Cardboard. We got to break some cardboard on Breaking Cardboard.
Literally, yeah, first time
pretty
for
cool,
that.
and really nice to get to spend some time with you tonight, Chris. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this was fun, guys. Really appreciate it. And yeah, you got to break cardboard on Breaking Cardboard. But we've got some good releases coming out to finish the year off, and I think the next 6 months will be really fun for every type of collector. It's great to see football back. We've got baseball playoffs coming up, NBA and NHL getting ready to get started, which is great. And man, a lot of fun with the AEW. Golf, lots of things going on with golf. Upper Deck's doing game day moments for golf as well. So there's just a lot of like cool stuff. SP Authentic Golf is going to be coming out soon. So really, really fun time. And I know there's a lot of hesitancy and trepidation about what the future may hold. But I think as long as we all focus on being the best that we could be and you know, in our particular category, hopefully things won't change too much. So.
John, can I just plug a couple things for tomorrow before we go?
I'm not paying you, so get the plugs in.
Yeah, well, I know. So Hobby Hotline tomorrow morning, John will be on hosting a special episode. If I might say that for you, John, I will not be there, but Hobby Hotline at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. And
real quick. I'll be real brief. It's going to be a different episode, folks. It's not going to be a lot of cards. It happens that it falls literally on the 20-year anniversary of 9/11. I'm a New York City kid, so a little bit near and dear to my heart. And the whole episode, we're going to just talk about that day back then and pay our respects and invite anyone who wants to call in and share their thoughts about that. And again, it's the 20-year anniversary, and you know, of a terrible day, but you know, pay our respects to those that were lost on that day. So we'll be definitely a different type of episode of Hobby Hotline, but I just think it's being it's the actual day that Saturday, it falls on a Saturday. I thought it was the right thing to do, and cards will always be there for us every other day. We can go back to enjoying those.
Who's scheduled to be on the panel tomorrow?
It's myself, Chris Harris, and Logan Ward.
Nice. Well, that'll be great. And then on Sports Cards Live tomorrow night, I've got on at 10 o'clock Eastern. I've got, his name is John Yob, and he is the founder of Card Score, which is a decentralized, crowdsourced card scoring service. And he's going to come on and answer all the questions about that. And then on the late show after hours.
Yeah, real quick, Jeremy, that is a really interesting type of platform that they're working on. It's if you're a collector, you should definitely check that out. There's a lot of uniqueness to what they're doing.
I met with him last night, and I can tell you that he can answer all the questions that everybody has. He's this pretty smart guy. He's not the face of the company, but he's the founder. It's his concept, and he's actually, I can tell you, this guy he's prepared. He has and it's his first media appearance ever as far as this company goes. And so he's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really informative. And then on my late show, I have who is in the chat tonight, Ryan Nolan from Breakout Cards, to talk about his card show exploits over the last month or so. So that's what's going on the Sports Cards Live YouTube channel tonight. And I invite everybody to come out and join us. Thank you for the opportunity, John.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you both of you gentlemen. Thank you for coming. Set the bar high now, like Chris says. I think everyone's going to expect wax rips like every episode. There might be some disappointment next episode, but we had a lot of fun. Again, I'll let folks know if you do win. I'll randomize everything. I'll put some lots together. We'll get those. I'll get your address and we'll get those out. A little bit about this show. It's the second Friday of every month. If you're listening to this on the audio release, we're live every second Friday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, with a new guest host and guest each month. So you can check us out live, or if you miss us live, you can always listen to the audio. Once again, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Chris. Be safe, everybody. Be well. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.